You're listening to Health Coach Conversations, a podcast where our conversations help health coaches all around the world to level up our businesses and to get more clients. Hello and welcome. Today I am with Brittany from Practice Better. Practice Better is a modern EHR built for practitioners in private and group practices that support the health of their clients and their businesses. It's a user-friendly platform to provide holistic, client-centric care all in one place, built for coaches, practitioners, and their clients with systems and tools to help you avoid burnout and time spent on repetitive tasks. With support you can count on, features and integrations to help you grow, and the ability to provide true holistic care, Practice Better is the modern EHR of choice for coaches and practitioners. Our topic today is scaling business with multiple streams of income. So can you define what a stream of income is?
Yeah, absolutely. So a stream of income, when we're thinking about an individual income stream, it's one way that you're earning revenue or generating income for your business. So think of like the individual offerings that you currently have, whether that's maybe your one-on-one packages or a program that would stand alone as one singular income stream. So it's the ways that you're generating revenue in your business by kind of individual.
Why is it advantageous to have multiple streams of income?
There's a lot of seasonality in health and wellness. And as you go through, multiple years, you start to kind of pick up on the fact that there's maybe some lulls through things like holiday seasons, summers, where activity starts to kind of taper off. When you have multiple streams of income, one of the big benefits is that you can kind of overcome some of that seasonality in your business if you're strategic and you have income streams that are set up to kind of be more ongoing or more regular, evergreen, where seasonality isn't as much of a factor for people. So that's one thing that is really advantageous to considering having multiple streams of income. The other thing from the client side is usually you have more to offer them. So you're able to appeal to a broader audience. You're able to maybe have a bigger reach in terms of the type of people that you're able to work with, while still, of course, honoring that specialty or the way that you niche in your business. So those are kind of the primary things. And lastly, it just gives you a bit of security. So if something happens to one of those income streams, your income doesn't stop entirely. You've got some other ways to kind of protect and cushion yourself to make sure that you're meeting your bottom line, you're covering your overhead costs, and you're still earning for your business.
Right. Now that we know the potential benefits coaches can experience, how does having multiple income streams benefit the client?
Yeah, as I mentioned in our last question, when you have multiple streams of income, usually you have a broader range of offering, and that really benefits the client because they might, you can be, again, strategic to have income streams or services offerings at varying price points, at varying degrees of commitment, and whether that's, how deep they're going or the time. So usually you have clients that can find something that is a fit for them. It's a little bit more accessible to a broader crowd. So if they're not ready to dive in with a really big investment, if they don't have the amount of time to carve out for some of those really in-depth one-on-one packages with you, something of that nature, usually they're able to find something that will satisfy their needs of why they're seeking you out. And maybe that's a stepping stone. So maybe that's their first introduction into working with you, or maybe that is, it. Hard to say. You can work with that client and hopefully continue to work with them ongoing, but just recognizing that certain people have barriers to entry, and by having a broader range of offerings, we're able to overcome some of those barriers of entry and just make our services more accessible to more people.
That's a great point. How can coaches decide which income streams are right for them and for their clients?
Yeah, I think this comes with some level of experience when you're working with your clients to understand what resonates with them and what's actually moving the needle with their health and helping them achieve their goals. So, really important when you're starting to think about what you offer and new things that you can potentially offer, making sure that you're actually speaking to your clients and getting feedback about their experience, their outcomes. That's going to help you determine the things that do in fact resonate with them and the things that perhaps we can iterate on and evolve to resonate with them a little bit better. So that's kind of my first piece of advice, is to make sure that you're always speaking to your customers, and not just in the way that we're providing motivation and guidance, education, support, but also to get feedback on how you as a coach are able to show up for them, what you're offering, how it's working for them, and the delivery and all of that. So make sure you're speaking to your clients to get that feedback. And as you start to pick up on what is working for your clients, you can take what you already have and kind of reiterate on it and package it in a new way to maybe pare it back or maybe evolve it even further, and kind of shape shift it a little bit, where you're not necessarily starting from scratch, but you're able to offer something that is a little bit fresh and new. Sometimes when I talk about that piece of advice, people think, well, isn't that kind of, redundant? I've already got something. But know that you're not necessarily going to hit the same client with both of those offerings. You're going to be serving two different people. So you shouldn't have too many issues if you have a little bit of overlap between services as well.
And most of our great ideas come from our clients. It's nice when you get the feedback like that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so having multiple streams sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
How can you deal with that?
Yeah, definitely. So, it's easy to think that you're having to create net new every single time. That's going to lead to this downtime in your business where, if you're just one person and one coach who's trying to see the clients and run the business and do everything, that can feel like, how do I even get started with this without experiencing downtime in my business where I'm not then seeing clients and generating income? So I understand totally how that can be really daunting. But the really good thing is that you don't have to start from scratch. There are so many solutions available to coaches and practitioners that help give them kind of this advantage of having a starting point or a framework or even a completely done for you solution that you can use to start generating more income in a new way. And as I mentioned, you can take something that you're already offering and kind of give it a facelift, like repackage it in some way. So let's use like a 6-week program that you have, for example. Maybe you can pair that back into a 1-day workshop. And the price point changes. You've got the content and you've got, a piece of the pie to offer your prospective clients. And maybe they really like that and they want to go into your 6-week program. So some of these things can start to really work and flow together, have a really nice cadence between one thing to the next. But, if you're feeling overwhelmed with where to start, know that it doesn't have to be completely from scratch where you're staring at like a blank screen and feeling like you've got to come up with something.
Oh, that sounds awful. Staring at a black screen and trying to come up with a good idea.
Yeah, with the blinking cursor, right? That
or blank piece of paper.
Yeah, exactly. It can feel really hard when you're like sat there with the intention of coming up with something great if it's not coming up organically.
Right. How does Practice Better support this?
Yeah, so we have a lot of different ways that you can be really efficient in creating net new services or adding things like templates to your business that are, again, going to give you that framework or that kicking off point where then you can put your own customization or spin on it. So to call out a few features, our program feature is a very popular one because you have various different delivery styles where you can make it evergreen. You can use a template access code and use a done-for-you solution to make things really efficient and quick with getting a new income stream up and running. Many of the things that the places that you're working in Practice Better, whether services, packages, programs, you can actually take your existing program, for example, and duplicate it. So you get kind of this second version of it. And then that's the one that you can edit and give the facelift to. Give it a new title, give it a new format, kind of strip back the content or maybe add to the content. And then you've got this whole new thing that you've got to offer, where again, kind of the theme of this is that you didn't have to start from scratch. You got this really nice kind of time-saving benefit of just being able to duplicate your work and edit it rather than starting from, again, a brand new place.
Right. And so you pretty much have like a educational center within Practice Better so that their customers can go and access their programs or their courses.
Exactly. We call it our programs feature, and not to kind of give the assumption there that you can only use it for programs, because it's a really versatile feature, kind of like a learning management system where you could host a workshop, you could run a challenge, you could go really deep into an in-depth 12-month program and give that to your one-on-one clients, or run group programs and do full courses. There's really no shortage of ways that you can use that particular feature. And it is one of the very top or primary ways that we're seeing our users add new income streams to their business, because you can add as many kind of offerings as you want through that feature. So, within it, you've got the ability to make it self-paced for your customers so that they're going through to their own accord. It can be a little bit more hands-off for the practitioner or the coach. And then you've got what we call fixed date, where it's actually kind of running through with one cohort. You've got calendar dates that you're choosing, and that's maybe a little bit more evolved for the coach, where they're having group virtual sessions, and you've got maybe more of a live coaching element as well. So many ways that you can tailor this to fit your goals and your needs of what you're hoping to achieve in your business. And you can just continue to add more to really round out what you have to offer and ensure that you've got that nice kind of, cushion of multiple streams of income in your business, bringing you in revenue.
Your online presence matters. The Health Coach Group provides fully customized websites to showcase your wellness practice professionally. Attract more clients and stand out from the crowd. Visit thehealthcoachgroup.com to get started.
I've been working with people creating memberships for a few years. Is it possible to run a membership out of there? Like you would provide educational information like in a program form, and then also maybe recipes or blogs or things like that you could have accessible through there?
Definitely. We have a feature within Practice Better called recurring payments. So by combining the programs feature with that payment style,
Cool.
you're able to run membership programs. So we definitely see that. We see people take advantage of some of the integrations that we have to offer, like that Team Life, which is nutrition planning software, where they're doing like meal planning or meal prep memberships, where new recipe collections or meal plans are pushed out to the members at a certain frequency, and basically the end user, the customer, is being charged on, say, a monthly basis. And you get to decide what that fee looks like. Practice Better will securely store credit card information, so all that payment happens naturally, and it's kind of ongoing until the client decides that they're done. And at that point, they can kind of unregister and be done with the membership program. But yeah, I always kind of explain it like your Netflix subscription or your gym membership, where it's just kind of that ongoing payment until you decide that you're done.
Yeah, and you know what? Every health coach and every wellness practitioner, I think that'd be like a dream come true to have cash flow like that, where you've got monthly guaranteed income coming in, in a subscription style business.
Definitely. And that's a big thing is, again, when we were mentioning the seasonality of this industry with health and wellness, we know that there's hot times of the year, whether that's fall. Fall seems to always be popular, of this kind of feeling of a fresh start. And we've got the new year where we can kind of pick up on some of that new year, new me energy. But then we have kind of the off season, whether that's the summer or the holiday season. And so membership offerings like this, if we're thinking about that as an individual income stream, can really help overcome some of that seasonality and be bringing in that regular, predictable income for us. And, think about that when you're setting your monthly fee of then how many members do you need? to hit a certain financial target to maybe cover your overhead costs or to fill some sort of need in your business. And then you've got some really tangible targets of how many clients you need to acquire and how many you need to be bringing in, say, on a monthly basis to keep that growing and serving its purpose.
Right. Well, and by the time that everybody is hearing this podcast or watching this video, the health coach group will have programs loaded into Practice Better. So there won't be any labor intense movement with that. It's just there. And if you want to customize your program, all you have to do is go in and change out links. Is that right?
It's really easy. So once you have, received the done for you solution from the health coach group and you load it into your Practice Better account, still the ability to fully customize it according to, your preferred delivery method, how much you want to charge for it. You can do things like changing the content within the modules or the actual title of the program should you want to. You've got a ton of different kind of coaching or support features alongside a program feature that you can implement as well. So maybe like a group chat, maybe you want to add some video sessions for groups. Maybe you want to add a quiz or some tasks. So lots of ways to kind of enhance the offering, but you've got this incredible starting point where, like you said, there's very little kind of labor behind actually getting started. So it's just such an easy way that's going to benefit you and benefit your clients.
And all we've talked about pretty much is the stream of programs. Practice Better is a lot more than just the programs part of it. What other parts does Practice Better have?
Yeah, definitely. So programs are great because they are so versatile and kind of sharing and dripping out content and information, educating your client. But we've also got ways to facilitate one-on-one work. So you can build out your services. And that would be things like, your initial consultation, your follow-ups, even a discovery call, things of that sort of actual appointment types that you're working with your one-on-one clients for. You could also do the same for groups. So if you choose to work with groups, there is the ability to set up group sessions in Practice Better as well. And then from there, you can also package them. You can package them into 3-month, 6-month, 12-month packages where you get to determine which services are bundled together. So for example, that could be one initial consultation and you could have, 6 follow-up sessions and then a final session that you're adding in there for like an 8-week package. And then the client is able to purchase that package and they can keep track of all the sessions that they've used, what's remaining. It's really nice and organized for both the practitioner, the coach, and the client. So that's one thing. The other thing is that, we have integrations available through Practice Better that also enable things or ways to earn. So some of our online dispensaries, for example, allow you to set a margin on the supplements that you're recommending. And if you're working with that, and it's within your scope of practice, you're making supplement recommendations, you can link with one of the online dispensaries that we have an integration with, set a margin where you're collecting, if you're in the US, up to 35%, for example, on full script. And then you're earning kind of another way in a way where maybe you're already making those recommendations. And now you've just done this in a new way where you're kind of earning on work that you were already doing. So lots of these things can be paired together too. We very often will see practitioners and coaches do like hybrid offerings where they'll do one-on-one sessions with a client. They'll also enroll them in a program. They're also making these supplement recommendations. And now you can see that you've got kind of this really well-rounded way of bringing in revenue for your business. So that's incredible too. The other part of this is that there's ways to Practice Better is so flexible and so customizable with what you're offering that you can really kind of create what I'll call like a ladder of services for your clients. So maybe they're starting with a workshop and they're getting in that workshop for $25, something like that. And that gives them a really good taste of the value that you can provide. And they want to then move on to, say, your one-on-one services. And after they've worked with you really extensively and they're feeling really good, but they maybe need a little bit more hands-off support, you could enroll them in their membership program. So you can kind of move them through different stages of your business so long as you have kind of those different offerings set up.
You and I haven't talked about this, but I thought I'd mention it now since you brought up the full script. We at one time hired a dietitian to go through all of our programs and make generalized recommendations for all of the supplements that go along with the particular program. So we have a full list of supplemental suggestions from FullScript. All of them are available in FullScript on every single one of our programs. So
that's amazing. That's a huge value add. It will make it so easy now here's like the perfect example where you get to charge for the program and then you're earning on the margin of the supplements that you're recommending at no additional expense to the end user, the client, but you're earning more. So that's incredible to know and to have pointed out is you've got that value add too.
Yeah, and that way they're working within their scope of practice too, because a health coach can't prescribe supplements, but they can have a general list for this that's been recommended. So yeah, that's great. That's good news. Okay, so do you bill out of Practice Better?
You do. So all of the kind of behind the scenes of your business, whether it's the creation of the services, the billing, the booking, that all happens through Practice Better as well. So kind of think about it in two different ways. You've got the running of the business and then the actual client facilitation and coaching side all together in one place. And we also are very mindful of the client's experience because we know that that's an important factor in how they work with their practitioner, how they action what you're recommending them and actually follow through for their own success. So we're building for the practitioner to be able to successfully run their business, but also for the client success. So they get their own client portal. They can log on through a computer or a smartphone. They've got everything at their fingertips to communicate with their coach or practitioner, to access all the resources, to book in, to pay their invoices. Everything is consolidated in one place for both practitioner and their clients.
That's wonderful. So it's practice management. It's like the office for your practice online, right?
Yeah. We'll sometimes kind of refer to Practice Better just as like your virtual assistant. It's there to help automate a lot of the administrative tasks that are inevitable and a part of how we have to run our business, but they tend to be like the repetitive small tasks that do eat up our time. Practice Better can take care of a lot of that for us. So things like automated form delivery, messaging multiple clients at once with a check-in or delivering some sort of message. You've got ways to take information, say from a completed form and have it automatically put into a client's record. And then you can take that information and easily use it in a note or with your charting. So really kind of anticipating all of these needs and all of these things that come up naturally in a practitioner or coach's workday and finding ways to automate the things that are happening routinely that we can't necessarily escape from, but we can make more efficient.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being here with me today. It's been really interesting. I learned a lot, and we've talked a lot of times before. So I know that this will be very informational for everybody that's listening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me, Cathy.
You're welcome.
Thanks for listening to the show. If you liked what you heard, please give us a 5-star rating or review on iTunes.